All right, some more fun thoughts for us. So, BK in the house, what's up? Right. Okay. So, some more fun thoughts for us. So this thought is about how to live the best life. Bear lifestyle, walk 50 miles a day, maximum sun exposure. Another thing that I've been trying to do more recently, we did pretty good last night, is just get bed super early. I think we started winding down at 4:30 p.m. Started making dinner around 5. And when all's done and well, it's only 6:30. Bathe, sand, nighttime routine. And I think we all hit the sack around 8:30 p.m. And then today, naturally, I woke up at 3:45 a.m. And then that's also another pro tip I have about life. Never force yourself to wake up with an alarm clock. People I find not good. Don't trust The Rock. He's taking steroids and trying to say it's all about hard work and dedication. Yeah, and it's about the juice. And then he's also download my app and buy my swag, look like me. I'm not gonna tell you to take steroids, right? And also, I think the reason why I find him so distrustful is he looked like such a nice guy. Nobody really has nothing bad to say against him, and that's typically not a good sign. Anyway, so don't wake up with the alarm clock. Wake up naturally, and then so I think it's when people try to force themselves to wake up early, it's not a good idea because sleep is godlike. Ultimate life hack you do is sleep 8 to 12 hours a night. Sen sleeps for 12 hours a night, and every time he wakes up in the mornings, he's kind of like a transformed, he's like a transformed man. It's I don't even see him as a kid no more. Yeah. And also it's a bright future ahead for us of kind of blogging and vlogging and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think the future is going to belong to bloggers because we're the only ones left with interesting thoughts. So the funny thing is, playing with ChatGPT, jump on the jet bandwagon, guys. It's gonna be the next $10 trillion, $100 trillion industry. Yeah, just think about it this way. So, I'm just going to make up some fake maths, right? Let us say that AI is going to be the next $100 trillion industry. If you could capture 0.05% of that, 0.01% of that, that's mucho dinero. And also, let us remember, money is all fake anyways. Does AI care for money? No. It's what is EK finna be? Aircom is going to become the next AI. Also, the funny thing with the AI, it actually makes me feel more human and makes you prefer to be human. Because, you can make all these sexy AI babes, but ultimately you're going to prefer a real life human being, not a image and everything, no matter how good. And then this is actually, I find, very disruptive for everything. It's going to be interesting too, because for example, a lot of, prawn, right? It's predicated on just watch the Netflix documentaries on it. You'll find out, right? I don't know. It's just kind of it's you take a bunch of super young girls, make them do certain things, and then pay them money for it. But then once you could create AI, deepfake videos, blah blahs, and then you no longer need the actual actors. then what, right? And it's to me, it's actually really interesting because then what is prawn? That's just something in our minds, right? Because like, let's say so use ChatGPT, ChatGPT, DALL-E 3. You could say, oh, design me a beautiful Korean woman at the Met Gala, whatever's, or Bitcoin babe or whatever. And ultimately, there's going to be some sort of content restriction guidelines, which means, you can't just be like, show me naked, sexy girl with topless, right? Like, obviously, like, ChatGPT is smart, right? Like, ChatGPT is smart because it uses its own AI to see if, like, he's trying to be sneaky, right? Or, like, I was even, like, testing the boundary. I'm like, design, gorgeous Korean woman in swimsuit. And they're like, and then the ChatGPT and DALL-E's like, okay, ... We're gonna do this in a sensitive way. Like, so actually the humor of how it talks is actually funny. But that, I'm sure that you have a bunch of these weirdos that could download these offline models, creating all this weird prawn of fake AI model, sexy women doing weird stuff. So then the question is, ultimately, then what does it matter? It's kind of like people who make the HENTAI. It's like, you ain't hurting nobody. Just got a bunch of nerds, whatever's, right? So it's like, then it's just art. Is it erotic art? So eroticism. So then, back then it's like eroticism was the point of all this. I mean, if erotic things, eroticism motivates you to go out and talk to real life human beings, maybe it's a good idea. And I actually sometimes I joke with guys, I'm like, if you watch porn, but you don't rub one out, is it still porn? I don't think so, actually. I mean, technically, I was doing some research on pornos. I mean, I think like ancient Roman Greek times, they meant to like have intercourse with a prostitute. And I mean, prostitutes been around since ancient times. And actually, what's interesting too is, technically, if we are seeking to maximize our greatness and our grandeur, you don't want to do energy suicide, which is essentially blowing your load, right? So a lot of guys trying to be sexier, attract sexy women to do. It's like, yeah, but like, what if you like the attention, but you don't want to bed them because you want to conserve your smug? Like, even when you watch Raging Bull, boxers, fighters, the rule is you're never supposed to sleep with, said woman or whatever before the big fight. And it makes sense too because, I mean, physiologically speaking, if you're about to deadlift 1,000 pounds, are you going to rub one out real quick? Probably not. I mean, there's nothing moralistically, ethically bad against it. It's just kind of more of a, like, what I propose is we should think more physiology instead of morals and ethics and religious ethics, whatnot. So yeah, just thinking about what it does to your physiology. And maybe the only bad thing with like, I have some suggestions. If you're gonna look at prawn, do it in public. Do it in the direct sun. Do it topless. Go to, like, I don't know. Like, go to, like, don't do it by yourself. Like, okay, some thoughts. Never do nothing in private or incognitos that you wouldn't feel comfortable, your kid, your spouse, knowing that you did that, or the world, right? It's like, yeah, it's super simple. Because several things. A, sooner or later is actually accidentally gonna leak out, or someone finna find out. B, I mean, it's like, once again, there's nothing bad with it, right? So like, if you're gonna look at the prawn, do on your phone, whatevs, don't turn on Google Incognito, just do it normal mode. Then, like, I don't know, like, people talking about internet privacy, right? I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, how much of this is because you guys just like, on these, you guys on these websites, right? Yeah, so you're gonna dip into the prawn. Actually, the best way to quit it, like, I haven't looked at that stuff for like 2-3 years. Not because I have no moralistic or ethical things against it. Just more of a, yeah, I think it just doesn't really interest me that much anymore. I'd rather lift weights or something. And actually, it's funny too, because in ancient Roman Greek times, men were considered the more beautiful, desirable sex rather than women. Women nowadays, I think in American popular culture, are just marketed as this product. It's like, you buy a Lamborghini, you'll get sexy girls to sleep with you, which is not true. Ooh, yeah, look at this nice view. Tina loves it. It's like LA. And yeah, so yeah, it's like, yeah, and just, I mean, assuming you don't live in China, right? Don't use a VPN. Don't hide what you're like. It's like, always what you gotta do is, talking to some other dude is open up the laptop, open up the apps, his apps library. He's like, does he have uTorrent here? Does he have transmission? Does he have some sort of torrenting app? What does that mean? He's on Pirate Bay torrenting, you know what, right? Or my trolling thing, right? Like, I's the ultimate troll. To feel like you ask somebody, when you turn on Google Incognito, what are you really looking at? I mean, I think there's some women who look at the prawns, but it's like probably overwhelmingly men. I would assume more than 90%, 99% of the population is men watching the prawns. Yeah, so just so the best way to quit prawn, if you want to, yeah, super simple. Just watch a bunch of it. You're not allowed to fap, and then sooner or later you're just gonna get disinterested, and then better to go hit the gym. I mean, other productive things I think one should do instead of looking at the prawn, just hit the gym, use the hot sauna, lift weights. Better to look at real life beautiful humans than to do it on the screens, or just sign up for a yoga class, hot yoga class. If you want to look at pretty girls, just go to yogas. Seems like a better ratio. Don't go to the gym to try to impress women, because you're not. I mean, you could if you look like Eric Kim. But still, it's like, yeah, you know, you go to gym now. Anyways, so some other thoughts on living the best life. Yeah, I think maximum time outside, biped lifestyle it is. Lifting extremely heavy weights. I think too, more and more, maybe the big problem in today's world is not necessarily technology. I think it's just like people so static. Like, if you use a tech worker or a boss or something, right? I would actually say the best strategy would be you should do all your meetings outside, walking. I don't know, you could have AirPods on or just do it off your phone, whatevs. Even Zoom calls, I think employees should not be forced to do it in front of a screen from their offices. They should be permitted to be out walking in the woods and stuff like that. So I think actually what we're dealing with right now, it's kind of more of a cultural thing, is that like this desire to not make other people feel jealous or envious is a bad one. Like, for example, like one of my best friends, right? One of the higher ups at tech company, right? Yeah, jump into a Zoom call real quick with a bunch of peoples, right? They're all like in their like working from home, these like sad ass apartment, super dim, all sitting, right? And then we're like on a hike in the woods, and then his screen is off, right? And then like, you know, the girl running the meeting, right? She's like, why is your screen off? It's like, oh, it's because I'm out. And they're like, can you turn your screen on? Yeah, cool. Turns on screen. And then everyone's like so jealous because there's like redwood trees in the background. They're like, what you doing in the woods? It's like, yeah, the doctor said I need to get my oxygen level up. This is for my health, right? So obviously you can tell everyone's super jealous. But critical thing to consider. Don't not do nothing which is good for you because you're afraid that other people are going to feel bad about themselves. Super simple, guys. And I think the reason why this is where it's good to be a little bit quote unquote socially autistic is a lot of our potential is held back by that. Even reading the Sam Bankman-Fried Going Infinite book by Michael Lewis, what I find very interesting is because he's kind of more quote unquote Asperger's disease. I mean, like even all these like fake diagnoses, I don't really buy none of it. It's just like some people's brains are wired a bit different. Like this kid's kind of like a math prodigy. He's not good with social science, and therefore, you know, like he acts in certain ways and just ignores people. And other people feel bad about it. I mean, I think the key success to my success is I have very good social intelligences, but I just choose to ignore it. Even Sam Bankman-Fried says, like, I can read other people good, but they can't read me. Right? So don't worry about hurting the feelings of other people is typically a good one. Yeah, LA is great. Yeah, Sen loves the metro. Yeah. What is this? Jefferson and La Cienega. Cool metro. Yeah, actually it's funny because okay, all my best friends in the Bay Areas, come to LA, vibe out with me in Culver. It's much better here. Actually, it's funny that like a lot of people complain about LA. I think actually the secret to living good life in LA, just never drive more than 5 minutes a day. Yeah, it's super simple, right? But you know, people call it working from home, right? I don't like to think of it working at home. I would say more like not have to go to the office if you don't want to, right? So maybe remote working is a better notion. Because like, once again, if I was still working for a company, I'm not. My personal preference would just be like, if I wanted to, you know, do all my work from the park or off the grid, I would prefer to do things that way, right? Anything that you have to be sedentary in a car, like even if you have to sit in a car 5 hours a day in the world's most luxurious Rolls Royce, Bentley, Lamborghini, Ferrari, whatever, is it worth it? No. Yeah, I think I was doing a history on the sitting, what it does physiologically to you. So sitting for you is bad because it kind of atrophies all of your legs and your senses. And actually my thought is true intelligence is in your legs, your hips, your feet, your back. And this is where wearing the Vibram 5 fingers and trying to walk 50 miles a day is a good idea. Like, imagine, right? 99% of people, what they do, answer emails and Zoom calls all day. And instead of having to be in front of a computer or stuck inside an office, imagine if you could just do all your walking while outside. Actually, one of the most successful people that I met, you know, he came to my Singapore Leica workshop get two like M9 titaniums, each of which are like $40,000, right? I'm like, how you get so successful, right? I was chatting with him, and he's like, yeah, very. And then this guy was like super happy, healthy, like kind of older guy, but like insanely good shape. And then he's like, oh, super simple. Like whenever I just do all my meetings, I just walk around all day. I'm like, wow, you're so smart. And actually, I was telling some guy did it, right? It looks like the future is like kind of homeless people. I mean, even Balenci, Kanye or Erwan, Demna, just like everyone's trying to adopt this like elite homeless look. It's like, why do rich people want to look homeless? I don't know. It's kind of weird. And as a consequence, yeah, like being able to walk, just do all your work walking, just don't be stuck indoors and off. Like even if you're using the world's nicest high-rise elite luxury bunker, and none of it is worth it if you cannot leave, get the fresh airs, whatever. And then people are like, oh, it's so cold outside, right? I'm like, it's cold, just buy a nice Canada Goose jacket. It's like you could afford a $200,000 Tesla. You can afford a Lamb, you can afford a Ferrari, you can buy yourself a $7,000 Canada Goose jacket. In fact, I think the money you spend on your clothes, your jacket, your winter wear is probably more important than your car. Just drive a 2010 Prius, white. Yeah, just call it a day, right? Real men do the walkings. Real sexy guys drive Priuses. 2010 Priuses in white. The EK Mobile. And actually, it's funny too because I was randomly in Holmby Hills, which is, very rich area, and there's like a $150 million house on the market, and guess who I see pop out of the driveways? Like not the new Prius, but the generation before, just a white Prius, right? And to me, the signal is really, really, really rich people actually don't want to be seen and don't want to be unlocked and known, because you drive the rules, people are gonna try to steal you. These are all right, true vloggers gotta be street vloggers. Look at these back tiles. This is like the ultimate spot to do videos. And I think, oh yeah, look, we got the nice sunrise. Purple, Son's favorite color. And I think, being outside nowadays is the ultimate luxury. It's anyone who's forced to be indoors all day. To me, I find that this is the biggest crime against humanity and our kids, is being forced to be indoors all day. Oh yeah. The downside of having to be stuck indoors all day is that you're indoors all day, then the big issue, good morning, is that when you're indoors all day, it's just bad for your mind, your soul, your physiology, right? Like anybody who's stuck indoors all day is, this is positively bad for your health. It ain't good. So actually a lot of people who spend all day indoors, they're like metaphorically diseased. It's not really their fault, but I still think it is one of those things where we got to be more critical about our environments. Like the weird Silicon Valley trend is people think it's like, oh we think that we're just a brain inside a shell. Like Ghost in the Shell is like, upload your consciousness to the cloud. Like, is you dumb? Not a critical line of thinking. I think the future is LA. Walk a lot. The privilege of being outdoors. Live off the grid, baby.